Good afternoon. Welcome to Saturdays with Sandra. Today, we're going to talk about there being so much more to life than monetary value or things. The only way to impress me is by being a good person. I don't care what you have, what you wear, where you live, or what you drive. I just have a deep respect for people with pure hearts and good intentions. That was written by Samir Khan. At a very young age, I can remember going from home to home with all my belongings in a black garbage bag. At the age of 6, I made my final stop. I was given what I considered new things, mostly secondhand books, clothes, or toys that I cherished and enjoyed. My peers in school picked on me for the clothes I wore and where I had to purchase them from. At first, it didn't bother me, as I now had more than a garbage bag of things. I had a mom, I had my own bedroom, I had a backyard. I even had a dog named Davy Girl. It didn't even matter that I didn't get to pick out her name. She was mine. A few weeks later, she was taken away. I grew up an only child that had to work for everything I got. I earned my allowances and lost most of them because of behavior. I might have only been able to spend my allowance one time in my childhood and managed to lose the rest. There were things promised that I never received. A car, a few letters mixed up, and I wound up with a cat instead. At least this one I got to name Star. The lack of fulfilled promises taught me to take them lightly. The kids in school taught me that the things you have make you who you are. Fast forward into adulthood, I was always grateful for the things I received, whether secondhand or brand new. Secondhand things are not hand-me-downs in my eyes. I like the term hand-me-ups much better. The littlest things bring the biggest smile to my whole being. I would share my extras with others, shared clothes, food, pet supplies, and even rehomed a few of my fur babies. I have always put a lot of thought into the things shared, making sure it was with the right person. Random things I had held on to, never to use, and when the right person crossed my path, I knew it was for them. A guitar pick to someone who would actually use it. A Scorpio keychain to a Scorpio. A beautiful Harley Davidson shirt to an avid Harvey rider. A couple things were more of a don't forget me and not materialistic things, like my singing voice, whether it was backup or front lines at karaoke. I even got the chance to model for a beautiful canvas. These were things I only had ever dreamed about, that were fulfilled before I had gone back up north. Some things were borrowed or left behind for me to get back when I came back. Not to be too exact, a lead-colored wooden box filled with only things an artist would understand, or a small paper bag filled with oceanic items. More importantly than any tangible item were the unique memories left behind. This chick's collection of toy model vets, the crazy flips and spins my cat Pearl would let me do with her, dressing up with no place to go, singing on my Bluetooth speaker and mic while driving around in my truck. Memories of bar hopping, taking unnecessary risks, speaking with no filter. So many beauties shared with me, the adrenaline rush of races, the beautiful artistry of the sky, memories that spanned over a 60-mile radius. No matter what the situation, I could find the positive side of things. I always had a smile, even if I had tears rolling down my cheeks. Anytime I was asked of the things I wanted, I would answer with the things needed or idealistic things that could not be bought. I didn't know how to say I wanted something. Push came to shove, and I got some things out, and they were mostly fulfilled, making me feel on top of the world, still smiling over these once-in-a-lifetime moments. I went back up north and had my first child. The things I held on to were more memorable. His hospital bands, the hospital papers, his first locks of cut hair. Needless to say, I may have held on to too much, trying to make sure he had everything needed or wanted. Before we moved back down, I had a garage sale to get rid of all of his no longer needed baby items. Gave away what I did not sell. We made new memories here. I took a ton of pictures, videos, and kept all of his artwork. I never had much money, but he was never without. I gave him experiences of a lifetime, like Paw Patrol Live and going to see the circus. He had an abundance of toys, puzzles, books. Even stayed ahead of the growth spurts with clothes of the next few sizes, so we wouldn't be scrambling for when that time came around. The day came when all that was taken away. All of the tangible memorabilia I had held onto for so many years, gone. It brought me back to my garbage bag days. We only had what could fit in our Volvo. My Volvo got picked up unbeknownst to me, never to be seen again. Lastly, my world was completely shattered when my children were taken away. That broke me. I had a hard enough time when all the materialistic things got taken away that made my life easier. Losing my children absolutely broke me. Broke my spirit, broke my whole being. I lost myself. This has been the hardest thing to have to cope with. The most precious things in our lives cannot be bought. I have learned this time and time again, ever since I can remember. The materialistic things we have in our lives should make our daily living easier. The items should not overrun us. I've always said that I wish we could go back to when we would barter and trade for the things we needed. Not that I'm from that era. It just makes sense. Why does the thickness of our wallets group us in certain classes? The worst thing I ever heard someone say about another was how much money their worth was. That set a fire inside of me. A person's values, qualities, and integrity should be their worth, not a dollar sign. I came back here because I always said this place was my home away from home. I was a misfit up north. It seemed I had a soul made for the South. When I lost my children to the one who raised me, it seems as though I was extinguished. I've been trying to reconnect with those I've left memories with at my home away from home. Maybe it's the lack of speed with my own memories. Maybe it's the lack of confidence I have these days. Maybe both, along with being scared about being too invasive. The air just doesn't seem the same as before. Not as welcoming or inviting as I remember. Maybe I really was forgotten. This deeply saddens me. I fight through these feelings and try to hold a smile strong within my being. One day, it will all come together again. Sundays are both the most blessed and hardest days of the week for me. I am blessed because I do have the opportunity to video chat with my children. Some will ever only be able to listen to a voicemail left by their own. The hardest part of Sundays, we don't get to speak like how I raised my son. I raised him to be able to say what's on his mind, no matter what. I raised him with encouragement, positivity, hope, and validation for all of his feelings. When he has big feelings, he will literally get sick. He got sick after we spoke the first time, so I have been restricted on the things I can talk with him about. It feels rehearsed. It feels coerced. It is far from what we are used to. I know my son needs to have hope. Hope that I'm doing better. Hope that he will join us one day. And it kills me that I am restricted from doing so. I was so proud of myself last Sunday. I've been making him and his brother a junk journal each. I decided to tell him and show him the covers of both. I let him know that I had been collecting and making things for them over the years, and instead of there being a pile of things, they would be put in their respective journals. I told him that I know how hard it was for him to understand that I think about him every day when we can only talk once a week. I also told him that I would give it to him when he came home, so he would have something to look forward to. He looked like he wanted to cry, so I quickly changed the subject, something I should not have felt I needed to do. I was brave in bringing it up, but after I hung up, I was kicking myself in the arse, worried that he would get sick because of his big feelings, knowing that if that happened, I would hear about it before I called tomorrow. I yearn for the day I can hold my boys again, hold their faces, look them in the eyes, tell them I love them, tell them it's going to be okay. For now, I have to cherish the fact that I do get to see my boys every Sunday. They also get to see their brother and sister weekly. I stay strong during our conversations, and it's okay if I break down for a while afterwards. It's okay if I cry myself to sleep, because that's the other half of my world. I will continue being the great mother that I know I am to these two that I have in my care. Too many of us get stuck in the materialistic things in life, forgetting about the more meaningful things money cannot buy that surround us. Please don't be blinded by what you truly have in this world. Cherish the people in your lives and be grateful for the smallest of things that cross your path. Spread the light. We never really know how much time we have. Cherish every minute. Don't take anything for granted. Thank you for listening, and remember, always shoot for the stars. Please feel free to share any of the uploaded videos or listen to them yourselves. My YouTube channel is sr.jurassic. September, Romeo, Juliet, Umbrella, Romeo, Alpha, Charlie, Echo, Kilo. Thank you.